Thanks very much for having us. Just to tell you, well, first of all, there's a lot of overlap. John, David, and I were, we did not coordinate our talks today, but the stories are similar. We have a Cozart property in Wayne County, a USDA rental facility that we too are trying to save and fix up. We too have a vacant school building that we are trying to renovate and convert to productive use. We too are recognized by HUD as a CHODO, a Community Housing Development Organization. We too are members of Community Works in West Virginia. So I think if there's one message of everything I'm about to talk about, and yeah, we have a PowerPoint as well. The message I would want to convey is in support of the community-based nonprofit developers, because organizations like SALS, organizations like Coalfield Development Corporation, the Habitat for Humanities in your communities, these are the organizations that get projects done, but they get them done in collaboration with the community, and they do it with the community in mind, and they're there to stay. And so these are the types of organizations that should be kind of prioritized when it comes to how we spend our housing resources as a state. And just the message of prioritizing housing. It's very exciting. There's a lot of energy around affordable housing right now. Affordable housing has not been talked a lot about over the last couple of years, and that's a stunning thing when you consider it was housing that brought our entire economy to its knees in 2008. Housing is a critical foundation to any economy. If you drive into a community, what takes up the most space in a community? It's housing. And so any type of broad economic development strategy has got to consider housing at its core. Just a little bit about me while the presentation's getting set up. I was born and raised in West Virginia. I went to undergraduate school at Shepherd University, and I went to graduate school at Indiana University, not because I wanted to leave West Virginia, but because they had a very strong program in nonprofit management and in something called social entrepreneurship, which I'm going to talk more about in the presentation. I always knew I wanted to come back home to be a social entrepreneur. And so it was an internship. I was a Community Works intern. Every year, Community Works has 10 graduate level students that are interns with those nonprofit community groups. And I was one of those in 2010. And I used that experience to start the Coalfield Development Corporation. So, are we ready to roll? Almost? And also, to just, Joshua Napper presented before this committee during the Our Children, Our Future event about a month ago. Joshua was a crew member, and so you're going to hear about what we call our Quality Jobs Initiative. And Josh was the better spokesman than I could ever be. But these community-based groups like SALS, like Coalfield Development, we have programs that really are breaking poverty cycles. Not just charity, but really breaking the poverty cycle, moving folks off of that dependence on federal programs and into self-reliance and being productive members of society. So with that, so what we are proposing is a Quality Homes, Quality Jobs Act, legislative action to break poverty cycles in West Virginia. So not really focused on charity, but really focused on real community economic development, breaking poverty cycles. So we employ, our mission at Coalfield is quality homes, quality jobs, and quality lives. We have a quality jobs initiative. We hire unemployed young adults ages 18 to 30. That's intentional. That is a real gap in our society. The public school system takes good care of people up until they're 18. And then if you go on to school or if you have a good job, then you're probably going to go on to live a pretty productive life. But if for those young adults who graduate high school, they don't have employment, they're not looking at higher education opportunity, that is the gap in that is where, as a society, we lose people. They become dependent on the federal government, and we don't get them back in too many instances. So we are a licensed general contractor. We hire unemployed people ages 18 to 30, and they become crew members on our construction crew. And we employ what we call our 33, 6, and 3 model. So Joshua Napper, who spoke before this committee during the Our Children, Our Future event, he is a crew member in his second year of participation, engaged in this model. So the 33, this is how we structure every week for our crew members. 33 hours a week, our crew members do work like they would for any other general contractor. We start out at $10 an hour, which is pretty good. And we go up to $12 an hour based on performance. So we send the signal that pay for performance, that hard work is rewarded. So the 33, we do a lot of green collar construction, energy efficient construction, some deconstruction. We'll talk more about that in the future, near future. The 6 is where community colleges come into play. For 6 hours a week, our crew members are in the classroom. They're doing their core classes, their math, their science, their English, their communications. So our crew members sign a 2-year contract. At the end of their 2 years with us, they have an applied science degree from the local community technical college. They have professional certifications in lead abatement, asbestos abatement, green construction, and they have professional experience in the field, 2 years worth. So they're equipped with tools to be self-reliant, to lead a productive life. The 3 in the model is for life skills. Money management, time management, goal setting, parenting, life stuff that's just critically important. A job's important, a home's important, but we've really come to realize that poverty is so complicated and has so many different elements to it. Sometimes the job and the home still isn't enough. You've got to have kind of life coaching, just how to get through the day by day. That all of us, regardless of our income level, that all of us need to spend time thinking about. And I will add 6 of those first 33 hours count for credit at the community college for workforce development and on-the-job training credits. So that's a very kind of unique collaboration we have with the community college. So this is a highlighted project. This is the old Earlings General Store in Wayne, West Virginia, the county seat of Wayne County. And I'll take that opportunity. We operate in Wayne County, but we are expanding into Lincoln and Mingo counties. We have a model that's working, and so we'd like to take it all throughout different parts of the state that want it. So this was a vacant, abandoned building, and you can see what it looks like now on the left, and this is what it's going to look like. And construction is underway. That's inside. The 2 pictures in the middle are inside the building. There's another one of our crew members developing skills. They do real work, so it builds pride and self-confidence to do real work that right on the courthouse square. And it's an important project. It's going to be 5 affordable units. It's going to be commercial office space, and there's going to be a coffee shop in this building, and the coffee shop is going to be run by the low-income tenants. So it's all about real empowerment, not just plopping families in housing units and kind of dusting our hands off, but really looking for opportunities to break those generational poverty cycles. Really an exciting project. Deconstruction. So deconstruction is as opposed to demolition. So obviously, abandoned, dilapidated buildings are a huge problem in the state of West Virginia. So, and a lot of the programs right now to deal with dilapidated buildings, they just take a bulldozer, bulldoze it down, and put everything in the landfill, which is good for the community to deal with that dilapidated building problem, but we have a better way. It's actually more cost effective. Deconstruction, it's a surgical taking apart of these dilapidated structures, and then you resell, reuse, recycle the materials out of these structures. So if we can, we resell the materials in bulk. flooring, rough cut lumber from the floor joist, antique siding, molding, trim, doors, fireplaces, stairwells, all that stuff. Believe it or not, our biggest buyer does high-end bar and restaurant renovations in New York City. And the more beat up and worn looking the wood, the more he loves it. It's a strange industry, but it's hot right now, this antique worn kind of look and design. Some of the stuff is just too far gone to sell as is. So then we get even more innovative, and our crew members make furniture out of it. So that's what you're seeing here: bookshelves, desks, coffee tables, all different types of really neat items that we sell, for earned income. So when John David talks about attracting capital into the state of West Virginia, I agree. We just got to get more dollars floating in the local economies by making stuff with our hands again, and then getting compensated for that. So kind of the philosophy behind what we do, a home is the foundation. So it's good to talk about jobs, it's good to talk about life skills, but if a person's not going home to a safe, warm, affordable place, it's not likely, and the data backs this up all the way. Students that don't have secure housing situations don't perform as well in the classroom. Employees who don't have secure housing situations don't perform as well in the workplace. Housing is such a critical part of the community economic development discussion. But we don't want to stop at housing. Housing is critical to survival, but we want to do more than just survive. We want to have thriving, healthy, vibrant communities. So that's where the quality jobs comes in. And getting a job and the self-confidence and the pride of working, that's when that poverty cycle begins to break down. When people experience for the first time what it feels like to take a project from nothing to something. And then a full life is the ultimate goal. That's a life skills activity you see there with the crew. So some of the things that maybe make the Coalfield development kind of unique. It's humbling. We've been around since 2010 when I was an intern. Organizations like SALS have been around for 30 years, I think John David said. So we're relatively young, but that can be an advantage too. We bring maybe some new ways of doing things and viewing things to the table, even if we are maybe inexperienced. And our model is working very well. We hired 2 crews with our 33, 6, and 3 model. We're in the process of hiring our 3rd crew now, and we're expanding to Lincoln and Mingo counties. So we are proving our model. So one of the first things that makes us unique is this idea of social entrepreneurship. This is the idea that business is a good thing, especially small businesses and communities. There's nothing wrong with earning revenue. That's a healthy thing. It blends the efficiency of business and the innovation of business with a social goal. So other examples of social entrepreneurs would be Habitat for Humanity, Restore, a lot of earned income, but that income goes back into the mission of affordable housing. Tom's Shoes. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that. Every time you buy a pair of Tom's shoes, they donate a pair of shoes to children in the third world. So business, earning, and the beauty of social entrepreneurship is you're not so addicted to those grants. It's never going to be profitable to form a schedule around community college classes. It's never going to be profitable to stop and train people in parenting or life goals. So we always need some grant support. But we're working very hard to make that 33 part of our model self-sustaining. And we're getting there. Last year we earned 32% of our revenue was earned. This year we're on track to top 50%. So then that reduces that addiction to the grants, and it makes us free to be creative and innovative and not working on the reporting all the time. Community-based nonprofit developers. I just can't stress enough. These are the organizations in the communities that get projects done. And they get them done for the good of the community because they know the people that are going to live in the units. They know the buildings that you're looking to develop. They have the development expertise. They've done these projects before. It's a sound community economic development strategy to support these community-based nonprofit developers. Relationship building. So we really have a philosophy at Coalfield Development, programs and bureaucracy, that's not what creates lasting change. We need the support, the partnership of government and different programs. It's essential. But it's human relationships that really make a long-term impact on our lives. And so that's what, at the end of the day, we are an on-the-job training program, but it's a mentorship program. Joshua Napper, who was here not so long ago, it would be a really good person to talk to about the value of mentorship, relationship building. Barriers to success. These entrenched poverty cycles of families who have been dependent on government subsidy for 3 and 4 generations now. It's a culture. It's just very hard. It's entrenched, and it takes time. A free backpack isn't going to break that poverty cycle. It takes time, and that's the beauty of our. We have a 2-year contract, so we're in it for the long haul. Insurance costs kill us. Workers' comp, trying to provide health insurance. I think we're going to get some help from the Affordable Care Act, but workers' comp really is what it's just. Workers' comp kills us. Startup costs. We are becoming self-sufficient, but nonprofits. We can't go to those banks like a for-profit business and just get a startup loan. It is possible, but it's much tougher. And so, we don't want to be addicted to grants 100%, but we do need help starting up, getting our tools, buying office space, and insurance, helping with insurance costs in the first couple months of salaries. Restricted funding for affordable housing programs, regulatory hurdles. Not enough communities have land banking. Municipalities are a key partner in our deconstruction program. And of course, in affordable housing development, municipalities are key. But land banking, right now, only those home rule communities, Huntington, Charleston, Wheeling, maybe Martinsburg, a couple other bigger communities, get to do land banking. That would really help us if the smaller communities could get in on that game. Environmental hazards are a big concern. We're all about partnership. So currently we're partnered with Mount West Community Technical College, but we're working with Southern Community Technical College and happy to start working with more. The Carpenters Union is a key partner for, once our crew members are finished with their 2-year commitment, we don't want to just cut them loose. We want to make sure that they really are going to follow through with a productive career, so the union is important to that. And also entrepreneurship. We train our crew members how to start a business, run a business. That would be the highest form of success if we could have crew members start their own business. Community Works in West Virginia. Mary Skeens, I started out as an intern. We're still members of Community Works. Tremendously helpful. We are funded by the West Virginia Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Marlena Mullins is here. They've been a huge partner. A benefit there with the trust fund is they fund exclusively to those community-based nonprofits. And that's what makes the trust fund so valuable. They're focused on those nonprofits. Our Children, Our Future campaign, you heard Joshua through that. The Abandoned Properties Coalition with the West Virginia Hub. So we've been focused in one community right now, but we're looking to partner and expand and replicate in other places. And so we're looking to the state for more support as we kind of scale up. The West Virginia Development Office, the West Virginia Housing Development Fund. I see Erica here today. We are our first project ever with Housing Development Fund financing is underway, a special needs project. And so that is a positive thing. Higher Education Commission, the Department of Environmental Protection, and Health and Human Resources. So we state policies that incentivize effective strategies. And this is the last slide, making affordable housing a top priority. those community-based nonprofit developers, supporting social entrepreneurs, incentivizing those social entrepreneurs that aren't so dependent on the grants, land banking, making that easier for the communities, reward programs using relationship building and mentorship. Change only happens that one person at a time, one relationship at a time. Maybe that's not good news for people who want to talk about large scale, hundreds of thousands of people, but that's just the reality that we've learned. So thank you for your time.